Hello, welcome to episode 114 of the Epic Film Challenge 2, 1001 movies you must see before you die. It's been about a week since we've done one of these and it already feels like a lifetime. October was crazy. Anyway.
Doesn't feel like a lifetime.
It does to me, it really does. It feels weird to be sitting there doing one, but we took a bit of a break. Now back into it. Diner, 1982, written and directed by Barry Levinson. I haven't seen any of his other films, or I might have, and I didn't know about it. And this is a film that is really interesting because early 80s, and almost everyone in this film is recognizable now as somewhat of a movie star. Whereas at the time they were all unknowns, pretty much, young actors. Daniel Stern, Mickey Rourke, Kevin Bacon, Steve Guttenberg, Paul Reiser. You know, the cast is great. And it's basically set in 1959, it's kind of a 50s movie, and it's about these group of young, kind of 20-something friends who are just hanging out at a diner, going about their day-to-day lives, just kind of mooching about, chatting, eating food, and...
They're not just hanging out at the diner.
No, but it's...
Because when you said that, I was really intrigued.
Oh, right, you thought the whole film was set there.
Yes, I was like, that sounds amazing. They're just at the diner, but they're everywhere else as well.
Yeah, so. No, it is set around the whole town, but I thought that might have been the case, but I wasn't sure. Either way, I don't think that takes away from it. But
it's called Diner.
It is called Diner, and the diner in the film is a focal point of it. It's where they always go.
It's like the cafe in France.
Yeah.
They go around other places, but they always go back to the cafe.
Yeah, and it's framed around Steve Guttenberg's character, Eddie, I believe his name was, is getting married soon on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. And so they've got about a week or so before it happens, and they're talking about how he's giving his fiancée this test of football trivia, and if she doesn't get it all right or score high enough, then he's not going to marry her. So instantly you get this kind of idea of how immature this character is. And it's just all about the characters, really. It's not really a film about much.
Because it's not just about him either. You get to know little things about other people, and they're kind of like major things going on in their life.
Yes. So every character has their story and has their character, and they're all quite different, but they're all quite similar at the same time. You have Paul Reiser, who is just very much just the witty kind of, just there for the banter, really, but he's kind of a hanger-on, you know, and there's some great scenes with him where he's like, he's trying to ask for a ride, but he won't come out and say it. He'll be like, oh, you going down the street, or you going that way? Just ask me for a ride. Well, I don't, if you don't want to
I'll go if you want me to.
I'll go if you want me to. Like, it just... It's so fun. I love Paul Reiser.
And the other guy is eating a sandwich. It's like, are you going to finish that sandwich?
You going to finish that sandwich?
It's like, you want a bite, just ask. No, just ask me if you want to finish.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
And it's the way some people do. I do that sometimes. And I'm sure you have done that sometimes too. Yeah. Just ask.
Of course, yeah.
And so you recognize it, and that's what makes you feel the movie, because you recognize little things because they're very natural.
A lot of improvisation going on with some of the dialogue and stuff, but beyond that, still a very well written movie. I think it was Oscar nominated for the screenplay. You have Kevin Bacon, who very young in the film, and I really like this character because he's like in a perpetual state of being like wasted, and I just found his character really funny because it's a really. I feel it's a really tough line to tread when you've got a character who's kind of drunk or under the influence throughout the film. And he's kind of like just laughing and stuff and being stupid, and it could very easily be annoying and grating. But I found him kind of funny. I don't know. And again, I've kind of recognised people I've known in him, just people who, when I was growing up in my early 20s, they were just always constantly under the influence of something. So, and then there's just all the little things in it. Daniel Stern, who most people will know from the Home Alone movies.
Before you continue, we gotta say why he's like this, because he said himself that he envisioned his character to be kind of drunk throughout the whole movie.
Oh yeah, we watched the documentary on the Blu-ray. It's quite interesting.
And it turned out, like, on the screen test or whatever,
yeah, when Kevin Bacon
had a flu.
Yeah.
And so he was feeling really like, so he just thought he would go with it and put it into his character, and then he just kept it like that. Yeah. And that's pretty cool to know. And
I like it when a filmmaker will bring on a cast and let them bring their part to the role and not be like, no, that's not how I wrote it. Oh yeah, let's go with that. You know, it felt like from what we've seen in the documentary, it was kind of free in that way, where they could experiment with their characters and stuff. Daniel Stern's character, who was married, and interestingly enough, in real life, he was married at the time too, unlike the rest of them. So he also felt kind of segregated off from them a little bit because he was actually married, and in the film he is too. And I love the scene where he's with his wife and he's flicking through his records, and he's like, come here. And he's like, well, what did I tell you about playing my records? And she's like, oh yeah, they need to be alphabetized. He's like, no, not just alphabetized, by genre of music. And he just flips out. He like gets really harsh with her, and it's kind of an uncomfortable scene to watch. But it's so weird because it's funny, but it's kind of like hard to watch as well at the same time. And I couldn't help but think about the same scene with Me and You, but if I was talking about my Blu-rays. Now I'm not like that. But I was almost like thinking about the equivalent, like, you know, movie collectors going crazy on their significant others over about...
I was thinking about you too.
Yeah. So it goes in interesting places. I like how the different stories of each person, they kind of intersect throughout the film. And then we have Mickey Rourke, who... I feel like he was the main character of the film, even though he's not really. They're all the main character, but...
I felt like he was the main character.
Yeah, and he's also the prototypical cool guy of the group. Everyone has it. In any group of friends, there's the cool one.
I feel like there was more focus on him. He was on screen more, and he had kind of a more major thing going on with him.
Yes, I suppose so, yeah. So, yeah, I guess he kind of is. But there is very much an ensemble film about all these different characters.
I just gotta say, like, I had to ask Luke, like... Didn't you say Mickey Rourke was in this? That's Mickey Rourke.
It took Connie about 20 minutes to fully accept that Mickey Rourke was on screen.
It was so hard to see it, but mostly I saw it when he smiled.
Yes.
But what?
And I can't really say that like I'm a big fan of Mickey Rourke, but I just really like him and everything. I've seen him in probably like 4 or 5 films. A couple from recently, obviously The Wrestler, he's incredible in that.
Yeah.
A film called Rumblefish, which I really like him in, and I think
he's great in Magic Mike. I'm kidding.
But I really liked him in this film. I really liked his Mickey Rourkeness. You know, he just had that kind of screen presence, and I liked it for the character.
I guess, yeah.
And it's very interesting how he's kind of, he does some things in the film that aren't very. You know, you think, oh, what a dick, but then you
literally.
Yeah. That's one thing I'll say. One thing I think I read in Mick Foley's book. He said something about the popcorn scene in Diner. So for the past 15 years, I've been wondering what is the popcorn scene in Diner. Now we know. We don't need to talk about it. If you've seen the film, you know what it is. If you haven't seen the film, you'll experience it when you watch Diner.
Yeah.
And anyway, so there's not much more to go into really. It's an entertaining film. The characters are fun. It's it's all dialogue really. And,
how many people do you think did that when they went to the cinema?
I hope none, but let's be realistic. There was probably a few.
Probably a lot of guys did that thing with the popcorn.
Yeah.
Now you're wondering, what did he do?
And then
the lid just popped open.
It did? Oh, well, I guess it would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's
funny though.
But I like it because it reminds me a little bit of when I was in my early 20s. You know, where you'd have nights.
What?
Where you'd have nights, not the popcorn scene.
Okay.
Where we'd have there'd just be nights where almost every night even in my early 20s we'd just be driving around all night. About 7 in the morning, we'd park up somewhere and just be like, should we go home now? Yeah, well, I guess we'll just go home now. And there's a scene like that in Diner where it's just like, yeah, let's call it a night at like 7 in the morning. And you're at that age where you're just doing whatever you want. You're roaming basically, and this film kind of really captures that, I think.
You still do the same, just online now.
Very true. Is it a film you must see before you die?
Wow, that was quick.
Well, it doesn't. Is there anything else you would like to go into with the film?
I didn't think. Well, I did think that I was going to enjoy it because, hell, I like those movies where people just hang out and talk throughout the movie. It sounds boring, but it just intrigues me, and the fact that all of these actors weren't really known back at the time, but it's like one of those movies where it's like, oh my god, he's in it, and everyone is like famous. And you're like, Jesus Christ, and they're together for the first time, you know? And you should watch the little behind the scenes or making of or whatever documentary thing where they talk about how it was like filming it.
Yeah, it was really good.
Because I really like the way the director made them hang out and stuff.
Yeah, he got them there to Baltimore where they filmed it about a week before filming to rehearse. And they got there and there was nothing to rehearse, and they're like, what are we doing? So they were all just stuck in this hotel, and so they had to kind of become friendly, basically, and that's how that kind of helped their chemistry. I mean, the chemistry in the film, it just seems like they're a group of friends who are best friends.
They said something like, well, the director forgot to say cut a lot of times.
Yeah.
But the director said, well, like, kind of that he didn't forget. He wanted to see where the conversation kept going or something, right? That's what he said,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, because sometimes you just carry on with it and you're forced to, and that was what makes it more natural. So I ended up enjoying the movie a lot more than I thought.
Yeah. And one thing that I think is really interesting about the film is that Steve Guttenberg's fiancée, we don't see her for most of the film. And then finally when she starts appearing in scenes, we don't see her face. Her face is always obscured. We never see it. And what I kind of read into that at first, after initially thinking that's kind of weird, is it's almost like it's him like not facing the reality of growing up and becoming an adult. And I just thought it was a really interesting part of the film. Did you?
I just thought it was like Tom and Jerry, where you never see
It was a bit like that, yeah.
Tom's owner's face. You just see her legs. I think you should watch it.
Oh, really? So, do you think it's a film you should see before you die?
No, but I think you should watch it anyways.
Right, okay, so this is the thing. After we watched the film, I said yeah, it's a no, isn't it? And kind of was like, oh yeah. But
it's still, I'm really glad that I saw the movie.
Yes, I think it's a great film. But it doesn't have that kind of...
Bucket list.
Yeah, it doesn't have that oomph to it. And so I guess it's not supposed to, that's the point, right?
I think even the actors themselves kind of feel that.
I don't know, but I just, there's something about it, I can see why it's in the book. I can totally see it, and it's, one of those kind of cornerstone 80s kind of coming-of-age movies, I suppose, maybe, but...
If you like that kind of movie, however, if you like the Before Sunrise,
Sure.
Those kind of movies where it's mainly talking,
then this will definitely be for
nothing special is going on. If
Yeah.
you like Friends, if you like Seinfeld, if you like that kind of stuff, you should definitely watch the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But this movie isn't for everyone. People will fall asleep if they don't like chemistry. Because that's what I feel this movie was. There was chemistry between them.
Yeah,
it seemed like they were friends, and they were friends when they were filming it, which is cool.
Yeah, just a really enjoyable film. Probably one of the best films in the book that I'm going to say a no to. I think it just. It isn't a must see, but I'm glad that I watched it. I'll watch it again.
I highly recommend it.
Super enjoyable, just not like brilliant or anything, and it is all down to the characters and just the dialogue and the chemistry and stuff like that. And Tim Daly, who played I forget his character's name, he's one I don't know. I haven't seen him in.
Who was he?
He was the other guy who we don't know from all these other
Billy.
films. I think Billy, yeah. The guy who
came in later on.
Yeah,
that's Billy.
I think he was good, I mean, he was definitely the blander character of the bunch, but I think he served the film well, and I think he'd probably get a bit less credit.
Because we don't know who he is.
I suppose, I don't know, but I've never seen him or heard of him anything else, but I think he did a good job as well, despite the fact that everyone else were like, oh, it's him from Home Alone, oh, it's him from Police Academy, oh, it's him from...
I was just about to say that, because if you've seen Police Academy, if you've seen Home Alone, if you've seen Aliens, if you've seen The Wrestler, if you've seen... who else we got? Footloose.
Alright, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Those are your 5 guys. If you've seen those movies, you gotta see this movie, because this is what probably started them off. And you kind of want to see the beginning of something,
Yeah, it's always interesting to see actors early on before...
And they were good.
Yeah, they were good. And like I said, Mickey Rourke was probably one of my favourite characters in the film, and Paul Reiser was just funny. I mean, I love how in the documentary Paul Reiser said that he tells people, watch the first 10 minutes, then just skip, because I'm not in it for, just watch all my scenes. But so there we go. That's Dinah. I don't think there's anything more we can say. And
No.
so there we go. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.